Hello and welcome to The Swinging Christies, the podcast about Agatha Christie in the swinging 60s. I'm Mark Aldridge, I'm an Agatha Christie historian and writer. My books include Agatha Christie's Poirot and the forthcoming The Swinging Christies, Agatha Christie in the 1960s.
And Agatha Christie's Marple, which is out in paperback today.
It is.
Hence this very special episode.
Yes.
I'm Gray Robert Brown, I'm a writer, I'm a Christie fan. I'm a film buff today because to mark the occasion, we're going to be watching the second Margaret Rutherford film, Murder at the Gallop. So when your book, Agatha Christie's Marple Expert on Wickedness, getting the full title in there, when was first released in hardback, ebook and audio, we did a special commentary on that day.
We did.
You may recall.
Yes.
It was a while ago now, right?
It was, yes. There must have been nearly 2 years ago that we actually recorded the commentary.
Do you think?
I think it must have been.
And then people really liked it. People really responded to it and have been asking us to do more. So it makes sense to return to the series today. Shall we crack into it? We're just going to have a casual chat through the film. If you can line it up, then press play when we give you the special word. But if you can't, then we'll just make it an entertaining and diverting chat regardless. And we'll do our best to kind of situate where we are in the film at various points.
Yes, I feel like... So we're watching Murder at the Gallop, which I feel like is one that I've seen a couple of times because I introduced a screening at the festival of it. But I think it's possibly my favourite of the four.
I agree. Yeah,
it's also the one not written by the people who wrote the other three. So I wonder if that's got something to do with it. It's the only one. Yeah, so
we're watching the
British DVD of it
because sometimes the sound, not the sound, the sort of pace.
Yeah, it's 4% faster on UK DVDs.
So try and line up if you can. And when you hear the code word, which is
Skinner, then
that means press play. Okay.
Yeah.
So you ready? Do you want to do the honours, Mark?
3, 2, 1. Skinner! Oh, yeah, very good. Oh, we've got the MGM. Yes, because we're still in MGM era. We know, obviously, from our last commentary and people who've read the book that MGM had quite the hold over Agatha Christie stuff at this time. After all, many, many decades. Look at that. Look at that. So I don't know if I said in the last commentary, but the script for Murder, She Said, actually says about that it should open with oldie England and there should be a tea shop spelled SHOPPE. And that sort of idea that it should be a really old-fashioned idea of England, even though it's set in the present day, because Miss Marple's got a TV, that I think you see particularly well in that opening shot there.
Interesting that she's collecting for reformed criminals because, I mean, Marple of the books famously is quite a fan of extrajudicial justice and a bit bloodthirstier than that. But this Marple is a bit cuddlier and she's kind of all about the charitable...
Yeah. Well, also about, that whole thing about rehabilitation and they do it with mirrors. There's a big old question mark about how well that actually works.
Yeah.
But it's seen as a good effort, something that's worth doing.
That's true. Maybe we're given to believe that her old friend from They Do It With Mirrors, whose name escapes me, has inspired her to do this kind of work.
This location, I mean, they've worked really hard to, even in the early 60s, to find places that look so old that you really feel you could have an English Civil War, like just wandering through these.
Well, that could be the awakening.
I was just thinking it could be the awakening.
Your first Doctor Who reference of the commentary.
So George Pollock, director, who does direct all of these, the Miss Marples, and also directs the 1965 And Then There Were None.
You know what's coming up, Mark? So they're approaching the big house.
Yes.
And we talked about this recently in our Shirley Jackson episode. Do you want to remind the listener?
Well, you're about to see that the set for this house is actually, when we get inside, is actually reused from The Haunting, the amazing film. That's lovely. It's so funny that, as I say, someone spotted it on Twitter. It wasn't me who spotted it. But once you do, you go, of course, they're both shot at Boreham Wood, same sort of time. I mean, all those bits of Miss Marple and Mr. Stringer wandering around the places in the village, those will be sets from stock as well. They're not going to have made a special pub set for this.
Well, especially when it's so brief, and,
Yeah.
and it's always at the very least, it's always an amalgamation of various things in storage, isn't it?
Yes. Lots of different flats and stuff.
There's some good atmosphere building, though. We feel like we've sort of done the frivolous kind of musical opening, and we are going to something. We are going to a light on the plot now.
Yes. It gets there really quickly. Now, here's a funny thing about Mr. Enderby, and my information might be a bit out of date, but certainly a few years ago when I was first looking into it, nobody knows who plays him. Because he's not credited because he's just...
Because it's so brief.
Because it's so brief, he doesn't even get a line. So we've got a victim who gets a proper death scene, but doesn't get a credit. Now, I am sure, because I know how brilliant British film geeks in particular are, I say that with love, that they will recognise this supporting actor, I'm sure. But... a few years ago, I found that someone else had asked a question somewhere else and people didn't know. But it's funny, isn't it, to think that this whole film hinges on a character, the character's actor doesn't even get a credit.
But I also it's sort of exciting in a way that there is still, well, we've said this before, but still questions. After all these years of looking into everything Agatha, there are still new things that we can discover, and
so much. I think especially in terms of adaptations, actually, because that's the door.
Oh,
from
yeah.
Haunting.
Yeah, you're right. If only somebody would write a book about the adaptations of Agatha Christie, it feels like that's
why
needed.
It was so much fun to do that one, because there was so much, and that's why I've kept going since, because I was like, well, I know there's more than I've put in here.
Yeah.
You know, I've had to race through it, even though it's 106, I'm through like a stuffed cat out that window.
That door. Survival.
It was. But I knew when I was writing it that there was still so much that I couldn't put in it, because 165,000 words, I think it is. It's quite a long book, but...
Dare I say, though, you're plugging the wrong book here.
I am. But I found loads of really nice new stuff for my book, Agatha Christie's Marple,
Expert on Wickedness, available as of today.
Yeah, genuinely did. And often because it's been filed away in places that... people just weren't that interested in it or didn't seem that important.
Yeah.
And also there's always this thing that as they are digitising more and more old newspapers and magazines and stuff, there's so much that is turning up that we just didn't know about before.
And also ways of looking at old information and new, which is so much of what we do with the Swinging Christies, and so much of what we found with writing our book for that.
Yeah.
Which is, you sort of put two pieces of information together that you wouldn't have put together before, and you come up with a whole new answer or interpretation for something. And it's really exciting. So tell us, for those who haven't yet read your book, and I very much hope they do after this, so you take a sort of case-by-case approach almost to the Marple canon.
Yes.
So that includes sections on each of these. That's a good bit of Foley. As Mark opens
I'm
his
checking my book, because I just was going to check to see how much I knew about... Because it's been a little while now. I haven't... At the time of recording, I haven't done... There aren't many revisions for the paperback, but just a couple of typos and things. And so I haven't actually reread it for... well, a year, I guess.
So you did a section, not just on Rutherford, but section by section through the Rutherford films, right?
Yeah. So every film has got... that's really good, Freddie. So every film has got its own, chapter, subheading, so several pages. Because that's...
Lots of lovely photos.
Lots of lovely photos. Lots of lovely, foreign posters in particular, where you see different ways. Sometimes I'm looking at the French release, Mouette or Gallop, where she looks horrifyingly on.
Dare I say, is a French accent that the late Catherine... well, I was going to say that the late Catherine Roebuck would mock you for.
Yeah. I've got an A in GCSE French,
Really?
I know. I'm as shocked as
Sorry,
you.
no, I didn't. Really?
But the poster there with Margaret Rutherford and Robert Morley's got them both on top of a horse, sharing a horse, in fact, together. So we've got a lot of
lots of.
There's a lot of jokes about
in the pages.
They do make Margaret Rutherford look rather larger than she is in lots of these posters as well.
So, yeah, and they're really cruel about her.
They're really cruel.
Gargoyle, at one point, don't they? Is it a reviewer?
Yeah, Gargoyle. More than one So she's got a gargoyle.
In our haste to plug your book, we talked through a very exciting moment of this film, which is when Margaret Rutherford's Miss Marple was chatting to Inspector Craddock.
Yes.
And in Rutherford's dialogue, she actually mentioned Agatha Christie.
Yes. Is it The Ninth Life is this one that I think it's called? So yes, I should have been reading the subtitles. So this is our first little hint that we're in a funny little sort of dream world.
Parody world.
Yeah, where this is not alert. I mean, I think this is quite sweet. So she's not baked it for eating. She's baked this sort of flat thing for plaster.
Yeah, that's clever, actually.
It's good, isn't it? And we're still rattling along with all the plot.
The pace is, I mean, I think that's why this is a better film than the first one, is because the pace is much stronger.
And the pace keeps going as well, whereas, as I always say about the strong one, it really dips.
Do you know, Agatha says that as well, though, that she's confused by all the blokes later on in it.
Yeah, and she's absolutely right.
I saw that quote the other day.
Stuff,
in Murder, She Said.
For someone who didn't really go to the cinema that much, although she did seem to. I found something the other day, actually. I'll mention it now, but it's in another book that I'm writing coming up, that there was a film that she went to, and I'm not going to say which because I'll save this bit, where she actually managed to get some money out of the film studio because she was like, this is actually really similar to one of my stories. And so she wrote to Edmund, and Edmund Cork, her agent, did write to the film studio, and they managed to prove that they had independently come up with it, but said, here's, I think, £250 they gave her. Ooh. This is in the 1940s.
So how much is that in today's money?
Oh, shush. Gray is obsessed with this, of knowing how much things are worth and what they.
It's when
as she said, a very fruitful afternoon at the cinema.
Yeah. When I read your very early draft of Miss Marple, that was one of my notes, was that I wanted to know because I think it's important to contextualise, because it means something so different now.
Yeah, but the ones that I'd left out was usually because exchange rates between the UK and America don't really mean anything. Because they've changed so much. Like when you hear that she earned $50,000, say, for a serialisation in the 1960s, that's really tough, because what exchange rate do you use? Do you use the one for the 60s? Because that's very different to the one from now.
You use the one for the 60s and then work out what that money is today. You're so idle, Mark.
Yeah, I famously don't do anything. And this is absolutely... this is what I feel... Even though it isn't, this is what I feel is 90% of a Miss Marple film, is her finding a way to snoop into a room, hopefully in a way that emphasises her physicality.
More elaborate comedic version of what we'd see in the books. Yeah. But it is very Rutherford, isn't it? So for the if anyone's not watching along, Mr. Skinner, her companion and real life husband, Rutherford's real life husband, is helping her climb to a first story window in order to look in on the will reading, which is a crucial piece of information for the case. We completely skated over the Ninth Life Agatha Christie thing.
Oh yes. So this is not a real Agatha Christie, but it's one. So she says to Craddock, doesn't she, something along the lines of, it should be required reading for every. So every person in the police should have to read that. Yeah.
Well, I wanted to point out, though, that I think people have given short shrift to the fact that it's, fans are not keen on those kind of meta references, and I'm not going to debate the relative pros and cons of them. But I will say that we can't say that mixing fiction, she didn't write a book by that title, and fact, there is a crime writer called Agatha Christie, is not the sort of thing that Christie wouldn't do, because she does that in the clocks. There's all those references to...
Oh, if she does it in Body in the Library, or someone says they've got Agatha Christie's signature.
Yeah, she does. Yeah. But in terms of the swinging text, we've got that long monologue where Poirot is talking about writers like Gary Gregson, who are fictional, that she's invented for the plot, but also talking about writers like... oh, God, who does she say that's real?
Oh, I can't remember now.
She does say a few that are real, doesn't she? Oh,
You've got until the end of the commentary to try to remember.
Yeah.
That is your little task. So
or write in.
I mean, you shouldn't listen to this if you haven't seen the film. We haven't even said that the film, by the way, is based on After the Funeral.
Yes,
which is a Poirot case. But this is a spoiler. Which is that how difficult is it to, on film, have somebody play a different character, like when they're in disguise? And I think they do a fairly good job here. We've got lots of distance shots. What I will say is that Flora Robson was quite a well-known actor, and I think that's always a bit of a problem.
Yeah, I agree, though. I think because the way she was framed there, so if you don't already know, she's posing as someone else at the will reading, and like you say, it's easier. It's easier to do that on the page than it is in the visual media. But yeah, they because she's framed with two other people, one in the foreground, one in the background, and she's got her fascinator and her veil on.
Yes, and of course the really clever thing is that this whole thing of thinking that our focus should be on what she's saying, not what she's looking like, because she was like, no, he was murdered. And I think that's really clever that it distracts you.
That's such a smart Christie.
It's so good.
Sort of point of flair, isn't it? It's just exactly the sort of thing that she does that we love in her writing.
I look how much warmer the relationship between Craddock and Miss Marple is now already. It's like Craddock's accepted that he's in a Miss Marple movie. Yeah. And that he's going to just get carried along with it, which is so much more fun than someone just coming and being grumpy all the time.
Yes, he's been charmed by her as much as the audience have been, and that does, the response of the first film does change the film series going on.
Tittle tattling busybody.
What did you just call me? He's very handsome, Craddock.
Yeah, he was a bit of a matinee idol, Bud Tingwell, I think. I've got a feeling he was Australian. I think it's in the book. It's one of those things that slowly, like Homer Simpson, old things do get pushed out of your brain. I do find myself
delete information to make new room for new stuff.
Going back and checking stuff in books that I've written. Yes, because I'm like, at least I knew that I was confident in that fact then.
Well, you would have double checked it.
Yes, that's exactly, and almost certainly referenced it as well. So. Oh, 20, I wonder what that is in modern day terms, 25,000. How much would that be now, Gray?
I don't know. Why don't you check?
Oh, because I'm recording on my phone.
Yes, we're sat in Mark's lovely front room watching this on a slightly creaky sofa, and for sound quality reasons, I'm giving him evils every time he
does that anyway.
Moves an inch.
Yeah.
You're so free and easy with the sound quality stuff because you know that Muggins here has to sort it out afterwards.
There's her telly. Miss Marple got a telly. Yeah. But I don't know how she's ever going to watch it.
I tell you what.
It's the wrong way around.
Yeah, it's not facing the sofa weirdly. I guess
it used to be the thing that you used to hide TVs away. But I mean, that's just in a... And yet she's got a really old-fashioned phone in the background, you can see.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I would say, that phone's giving... cover of Roger Ackroyd.
Yes, definitely.
What was I going to say?
Getting our montage again.
If there are any particular TV experts listening, obviously Mark's a TV expert, but as in TV, like the physical prop, I'd love to know. I always want to know. I'd love to know like what make and model that is, if anyone knows, and what year we could date that to.
That's interesting.
Because it would be interesting if it was. Exactly, have they gone out and bought a mod?
I think
a TV
it is quite modern
right now
because it's not got a big surround and it's actually got a fairly big screen for 1963.
Yeah,
I bet it's a pie. It always ends up being a pie
or a magpie.
A magpie, yeah.
Hello, Mark. If you're
Milchester. That's what I was trying to remember. The name of St Mary Mead and this. But that's one of the things that I wanted to double check in the paperback is whether I'm clear enough about Milchester at one point because.
So
the Milchester and St Mary Mead can both
potential errors in the book. Which
literally, when we were having a walk yesterday, Gray said, "Are you making any changes to the paperback?" And I said, "Oh, there's the."
And I said, "Because I've got a."
Yeah,
No,
there's a typo in the footnotes and there's a word missing from one of the quotes. But I said I just want to double check. Not because it's wrong, because of clarity of there's something about when I talk about Milchester.
So explain this for the listener, please.
Well, I can't...
No, not your mistake. So
Milchester is where Miss Marple lives in the films.
But in the books it's St Mary Mead.
But in the books it's St Mary Mead. I've got a feeling there's something about in the last film that they're in... about the way that Milchester actually might exist in both, but I need to go and double check.
Interesting. Okay. So
I think that I'd assumed it was a filmic convention in a way that I'm not quite sure it is. But or do I say something about her getting the train to Milchester? She's actually getting the train somewhere else. I don't know. This is the sort of thing that keeps me up at night, and nobody else cares about. No one else in the world has noticed or certainly told me anything about it. You know.
Yeah.
Is that Margaret Rutherford actually on the bike? Do we think? I think it is. Yes.
Yeah.
Because this is the one where, after seeing it, well, I shall quote from the letter later, but one of the things is Agatha Christie writing to the producer Lawrence Bachman and saying, try not to kill Margaret Rutherford by making her do too many sports.
Well, she is very active.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that irritates me when reviewers go for the low-hanging fruit of commenting on her appearance, is that whatever comment you want to make about her size or appearance or anything like that, and I'd rather people kept things like that to themselves, she's incredibly bombastic, she's incredibly active, she's integrated into the action.
Yeah.
Oh,
there's a cat.
See, I think we talk about this moment in maybe horror.
We do.
In a horror episode, it's quite a...
Because you looked for the blood, didn't you? You wanted to see if there was any blood from the... It's quite scary. I mean, that's Psycho.
Yeah, very.
The end of Psycho was or towards the end.
So what, we're in 1963?
Yes.
So the first film was the year before this?
No, 1961 is the first film.
Sorry,
61, then there's 2 in 63, and then there's 64. Although in America, they released films 3 and 4 the other way round. So, yeah. Yeah,
so she's been stabbed with, is it a hat pin?
I think so.
But through the back of the chair, but there's no blood.
No.
It's very clean, but it's kind of stylized in a very interesting way.
Yeah. Well, this is a U certificate film.
Well, thank God, because I wouldn't be watching it.
No, otherwise. I know, yeah. I let you stay up to watch a 12 last night with Haunting in Venice.
Is that a 12?
Yeah. Do I look like a murderess? This funny thing you get about the gendered names and words at this time. Murderess and authoress and stuff. I thought that
when Kenneth Branagh's Poirot said authoress last night. I thought, I mean, yeah. It feels very dated, but then that was set in 47. So. Yeah, I should say, so we've, in the confusing timelines of peek behind the curtain podcast making, we've actually just recorded our Halloween episode, which was ages ago for you, dear listener, and yesterday we did Christmas, which comes after Halloween, famously.
Yes.
But such is our
we
lives.
Live in our own timeline.
We do, and we're all the better for it.
I think so. It's a lovely house, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not as audaciously big as we've seen in another Marple adaptation.
No.
What's the one where she seems to be in some sort of mansion?
That's in The Mirror Cracked, Angela Lansbury's.
Yeah.
Absolutely huge cottage.
But not even a trace of blood on the hat pin now. They've
looks like he just got it off the shelf at Claire's Accessories.
Yeah.
There's still that fire still going. So that reminds me, so this started filming, or at least was slated to start filming, on 31st of December 1962. So New Year's Eve. What a celebration. So yeah, that's why you can see everyone's breath, because it's January for most of the filming.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, Hatpin, yes.
Whenever anyone talks about fires...
What is that awful painting above Miss Marple there? What's it of?
Oh, yeah.
It's like a terrified cat, but with a child's face. But then she's supposed to have bad paintings, isn't she? Sorry.
No, I was just going to say, whenever anyone talks about fires and, domestic fires and time of year and all that stuff, I just always think of that brilliant clue in
Steve's favourite styles.
Christie's very first novel.
So good.
I mean, I can believe that a reader would be hooked on her from then onwards because it's just such a
Definitely
perfect setting out of the stall, isn't it?
Yeah. So it's funny how they're not super tightly clued, the Margaret Rutherford films, but there's enough there for you to sort of go along with the gist of it. And in this one, but particularly in this one, she really is an investigator. Like she throws herself very much into it because with sort of 450 from Paddington, Murder, She Said, she was sort of forced into it because she saw the murder. And now here, she obviously has been part of it because she saw both of them or was close to both of them. But she could just leave it up to the police, whereas the police didn't believe her last film. She's looking at that painting as well, going, "What the hell is it?
What the hell is that? What were the prop designers smoking?"
Yeah.
And
then, like in Murder Ahoy, she's just on that blooming boat, and you know, it feels like for this one, she's decided, okay, I'm a detective for this film.
That blooming boat. Do you say that?
Blooming boat, yeah.
In Agatha Christie's Marple, Expert on Wickedness. Paperback available now. She's playing Miss Marple in this film is playing a much more active role in the story than even Poirot in the source material after the funeral plays.
Yes.
Dare I say?
Yes. So I guess this is a good time to say that Agatha Christie was very unhappy about this after the funeral being made into a Miss Marple film.
Am I right in saying she didn't really realise that was an option with the contract, that they could insert Miss Marple into both titles that weren't original Miss Marples, but also original stories as they come to do?
That's exactly it. And there's a really sad thing. There's a really sad letter from Rosalind, Agatha's daughter, where she's writing, I think, to Edmund Cork, where she says, "Oh, you know, I really feel we've all let my mother down very badly over this." There was huge guilt about the fact that none of them had realised this. And this is how we end up with Murder Ahoy, is this thing of...
and Alphabet Murders.
Well, no, I mean with Murder Ahoy in particular, that it's not based on anything. Because when Agatha said, "Look, I'm really upset with you making all these changes to my books," Lawrence Bachman, the producer, read into that as going, "Okay, that's fine, so we'll make our own stories." Like, it just...
That feels like a willful misinterpretation.
I would have thought so.
What she was actually trying to say.
Yeah. So that's how we end up with Murder Ahoy, is them going, well, we can't... So they were going to do Body in the Library if they were going to do another one. They'd started to plan it out, but that never happened.
After Ahoy,
yeah.
Yeah.
It was going to be going to filming January 1966, I think, right at the beginning.
And so remind me, so after the funeral, the book is published in the 50s?
Yes, I want to say 1952.
I'll verify.
Yeah, you can Google.
But it's less, the point I was going to make is that it's an older text that they're adapting here than, because you made the point when we were watching Murder, She Said for this, and indeed it's probably in the paperback out now, that 450 from Paddington to filmed as Murder, She Said, it's actually quite a quick turnaround. It's only 4 years.
Yes, it is. There's a few examples of that. Like in America, they did a TV version of They Came to Baghdad, like only a year or so after it was first published. What year is it?
53.
Oh, no,
One
it's
out.
year.
One out.
It's 50, yeah. Typical. Nearly there to get...
Maybe it was, I don't know. Well, she would have started.
Yeah, we'll always go with that. And somebody might have read it. Yeah. Oh, look at that. Old-fashioned horse and course. Heart and course.
You can't make silly mistakes, Mark, because I can't edit them out.
Oh, I know.
I feel like Mr. Skinner gets less of a whack at the action than he did last. Mr. Stringer. Why did you say Skinner?
That's true. Why did it say Skinner? Oh, well.
Oh, well.
I'm correcting myself.
How funny. Even our launch word was... People have been puzzling over that for the last... How long this has been going
Skinner?
for. Sorry, Stringer.
Yes. Well, it's funny. They get cozier as the film goes on. She calls him by his first name in Murder Ahoy, I think, where she's very much Mr. String up to this point.
Well, it's kind of like they've forgotten that in order to be a quote-unquote spinster, she can't have a husband.
Yes.
But he basically morphs into just being her husband.
Yes.
In the later ones.
So this is Robert Morley, who next year will end up playing Hastings in the Alphabet Murders.
Oh.
Introduced to us half naked in a sauna and then runs out into the street.
Yeah, let's definitely do a commentary of that. That'll be wild fun.
Mm-hmm. I think that's certainly worth doing.
If indeed the listener wants to hear 90 minutes of us just going, oh, God.
Well, I watched it only about 3 or 4 days ago because I was doing research for our book. And I had to rewatch it. And there are little bits of it that you think, that's quite fun, that's quite good. It just doesn't hold together. Exactly the same thing happened the last time we watched it, which is I always get it wrong as to who the murderer is in it because I'm so out of it by the time I get to the end.
Yeah. I mean, I think probably the best bit of it is the bit that Margaret Rutherford's in. Genuinely, I think that is my favourite part of the film.
Her final appearance.
I'm just about okay with that film existing just because we got that scene.
But it's funny. Yeah, well, I'll save this for if we do a commentary. But there are things that are done in that film that I think are very definitely there to say this isn't Agatha Christie's conception of this world. This is ours, and I think that's one of them. But I'll save my other thoughts for another day.
So, do you remember writing these sections of the Marple book? Did you enjoy writing these sections? I feel like Rutherford is one of your sort of evergreen points as a scholar. So I think so. You enjoyed.
Yeah, I did. I really did enjoy it. I think that there's really a lot in there that because there's a lot to talk about both the adaptations themselves and Agatha's reactions to them. That's really, really fertile ground because there is a lot of correspondence. There's a lot of discussions, a lot of which includes her, but a lot of it doesn't. And I think that's all interesting in itself. And little bits just turning up from time to time that I found an extra interview with Margaret Rutherford where she talks about it. The family archive, there are a few things there that I just found at the bottom of an unrelated box file, which is really interesting about. I'm going to say it's really interesting about the contracts, but I promise you that I don't go through the contracts quite like that. But in terms of going, okay, what actually were they expected of? What did they think they wanted to do? And to see the list of the sort of reserved titles is really interesting because those are the titles that weren't available to MGM. So basically the contract said you can have all of the books and novels, none of the plays, except for these. And the reserve titles,
good ones.
Basically, it's like Murder on the Orient Express and Death on the Nile are both there, but it's also ones that are perhaps written for charity. So like Greenshaw's Folly, and Sanctuary, and ones that Agatha had never owned because she'd given away. 1-2 Buckle My Shoe, Pocket Full of Rye. There are several of that, which means that once you worked all that out and you go, right, you can't have any post-1960 Miss Marple stuff. You can't have any of the reserved titles. The only ones available were 450 from Paddington and The Body in the Library. The other ones were not available. Like Vicarage, there's been a play sort of it, so that was not available. Pocket Full of Rye wasn't owned by Agatha Christie. It was owned by the Archaeological Institute. So you actually go, it's all very well to say, well, why don't you do a Miss Marple story? Actually, I don't think people had explained to Agatha properly that they really couldn't.
Yeah.
Although they could have done, but
they're doing something quite interesting with Marple here that Agatha definitely does not do, which is careful.
Watch out for creaking. I'm sorry, my legs go.
In that, and this is a thread that they pick up in a couple of subsequent films, I think, if memory serves, which is this thing of what a life Marple's led, because she's got all this ancestry and she's done all these things, and
fencing champion, an expert chemist,
and I sort of see why when you're converting her into this sort of carry-on figure, it makes sense. It's kind of also just a appropriate shorthand for characters like this, where you communicate. They do it with Doctor Who. They do it with all sorts of kind of pivotal literary characters to go, oh, you know, I met so-and-so once. What do you mean you did that? You know, like that kind of, just to fill in the background and to make them seem really spectacularly unique.
Yes. I always hate it when Doctor Who does that, you know.
Do you? I think people have turned against
I've never liked it.
But I really like it. Well, I think people question the ethics of it now.
Oh,
that it's sort of like he takes credit for these things that amazing people in history have done.
Oh, no, I was just thinking more about when he says, oh, you know, I used to hang out with, you know, Houdini or whatever. And you just go, oh, okay.
But I don't know, when you're 7, you're like, oh my God, is that a real story? Oh my God, he used to hang out with Houdini, but he looks so young. What do you mean? Like, I just remember that being kind of thrilling.
Yeah. I don't hate it. It's just sort of makes me...
It can be overdone.
It can be overdone.
I think it was probably
and I think it's often used by people who don't... writers who aren't great at characterisation otherwise, and add it as a quirk. But not exclusively, just occasionally. Anyway, back to Margaret Rutherford. Wearing a costume, because that's what... She's looking amazing.
That tailoring.
Yeah. With her bowler and everything. Look at it. Pristine. I wonder if you'd watch this... and you're like, why is Flora Robson, why is Miss Gilchrist around so much?
Yeah.
Like, if you don't know where it's going.
Where, there's absolutely nothing about horse riding in After the Funeral, is there?
No, if you're going to ask me why it's a riding table, I couldn't tell you.
I guess it just gives it, it's the horse riding one. It just gives it that.
I don't have a problem with that.
No.
I do think... obviously, it's fun to see Margaret Rutherford on a horse, but obviously Miss Marple would not be riding a horse, and I appreciate that. But I do think it's a bad setting. And I guess you want to go, oh, not another sort of hotel or generic country house where people are just staying around.
I think that's it, because the next one is the theatrical one, and the one after that is the one on the boat. And you sort of do need those. I mean, we can debate whether or not they're good choices, but they're choices, you know.
Yeah.
And yeah, otherwise maybe visually it would be too similar to the last one. Because I mean, this house isn't this. You could squint, and this could be the house from Murder, She Said. Yeah,
I think so. Oh, look, nice little steps and stuff. I always love it when a set's got levels, because it means that someone's actually put some effort into it.
And spent some money on it.
Yeah, that's true. That does not look like a real bit of grass, but we'll live with that. We're slightly getting to the point where you go, oh, these are the people I'm not that interested in.
Yeah, but this is just the pool of suspects, isn't it? She's beautiful, though.
She is, and it's Denham Elliott, who's in all sorts of things.
They are a bit of a... She is a bit of a sort of femme fatale, isn't she? I think we talked about this in one of our episodes, like with the cigarette and the fashionable roll
we
neck,
did talk about it. Yeah,
bouffant. And she's got that kind of sultry look.
Yeah, she's very, she really has wandered in from Carnaby Street or something, isn't she? And she's like, why the hell am I stuck at these damn riding stables?
Maybe her hair's a little bit sweaty in that thick jumper, and then you've got Agatha's conception of modern young women as per the Pale Horse.
Oh my goodness. Another thing I was writing about the other day. But it's true. You're just like... but I don't wear jumpers.
But this is what I said. I've said this before, but this is why the miniskirt comes on. Agatha's clearly concerned that these women are
too
overheating
warm.
because they've got too many layers. Well, the obvious answer is the bikini and the miniskirt, which are much more ventilated.
They're definitely much more ventilated.
Fashion. I'm a fashion historian, Mark. I don't, come on.
Who knew? And it's nice to, have women who are wandering around that could also be suspects, rather than it being, as we were stuck with in Murder, She Said, those generic men, because we know it's a man.
Yeah. So, if, aside from the Margaret Rutherford sections of Agatha Christie's Marple, Expert on Wickedness, do you have, was there a particular part of that book, a particular section or chapter that was the most fun to write, or that surprised you the most?
Well, I think, so I really enjoyed, there are a few things about it that I particularly liked, because you could do, let's Galloway from Death of the Daleks.
Stop making Doctor Who references. Only 70% of our audience is crossover.
So there are a few things that I quite want to do. Something that I'm quite proud of in it, and that I hope carries on, is that I've tried to address the chronology, because there's this thing about where do you put the 13 problems, because the 13 problems are the short stories, which generally, well, half of them were written before.
Yes.
Maybe, it's a bit complicated, but basically Miss Marple makes her debut in short stories. And I was like, how am I going to do this? Because I can't put the 13 problems all before that, because some of them are later. And so what I ended up doing was simply splitting it in half. And I hope that something I've done with that in Marple, and I've also done with another book that I'm working on at the moment, is to try to remind people that actually the way we're used to reading things, such as especially short stories and edited collections, do not reflect when they were written and how they were originally read.
Absolutely.
And so you read something like The Hound of Death, and that's got things from all over her early career, plus most of which are supernatural or supernatural-ish, got hints of it, and then you've got Witness of the Prosecution, stuck in it as well. Here we go, some lovely back projection here. That's it. Watch out.
Dare I say, it's more convincing than some of the James Bond films.
I know, you're right. Black and white is very kind.
Yeah. Well, I was sorry to backtrack, but I was thinking that about the hiding of the clue that it's the same actor that we were talking about earlier, which actually in colour it would be harder to get away with that, but maybe the black and white helps.
Yeah.
But anyway,
right.
I was going to say though, Bree, your answer to my probing question. Yeah, I think you're right. I think more broadly that's something that we on the Swinging Christies have been trying to do.
Yes.
That thing of kind of reminding people of the context. And also it's stuff like, no one's ever asked this question, but I wonder if people wonder it, why, for example, we don't talk about, 4 and 20 Blackbirds that was in the Adventure of the Christmas Pudding collection, which was published in 1960, when we do talk about The Adventure of the Christmas Pudding and we talk about Spanish Chest. And it's simply because she didn't touch it in the 60s.
No.
It was just published then, and she actually wrote it decades before that.
Yeah.
So it kind of doesn't make sense to make a virtue of it in a place and time re-R project.
You're absolutely right. Yeah, it really is the same sort of principle of going, well, what could you actually see at the time? And so much of this is about what was canonically made into, put into short story collections, or that even were adapted or were reprinted a lot in magazines. And this really led people to expect certain things of, it's like when you go back and you look at the Problem at Polenta Bay and While the Light Lasts, which were published after Agatha Christie's death, well, as some other stuff, but those quite substantially after, you go, well, lots of these are early stories that could quite easily have been stuck into The Hound of Death or something, and just never were.
Yeah.
So there's no actual reason, quite often, because maybe they've just been forgotten, or they already had a story a bit like that. There's no real big rhyme or reason.
No, not a conspiracy that a unifying reason.
No.
So various circumstances and
yet I think that they are still seen as sort of secondary, like they're extras.
Yes.
Like the Call of Wings or something. You go, oh, well, that's an extra story.
Yeah. I know what you mean. I think also the one thing that really annoys me is, if you look at the bibliography on Wikipedia, and at the end of it does, Curtain and Sleeping Murder, and then at the end it's got 2014 Hercule Poirot and the Green Shore Folly. And that really annoys me because, of course, that was the first time that version of the story was published as frontlist. But, I mean, that's just not a late publication in any meaningful way. And I wonder if maybe I've heard some readers' disappointment with the autobiography being that it kind of finishes early. It finishes around, she doesn't talk that much about anything beyond the early 60s really, and she finishes writing it in 65. And it's published in 77, which is the year after she dies. But of course it doesn't run up to 77. It's just we're trained to think that it will encompass all of her life. But that's just when it was published, not when it was written.
That's a very similar point to one I've made in our forthcoming book.
How interesting!
I know, but I shall say no more about that right now.
No, I haven't read that chapter of yours yet, so that's very exciting. So we're doing it year by year this week in Christie's book.
Yes,
and we've split the years in half. So you've just
I do January to June.
Yes, yeah. Well, someone said, so you're doing. Did they say? So you're doing even and Mark's doing odd, and I was like, when did you learn maths? Because the years that I've just reeled off are not all even and odd. Anyway, but yeah, so you've just been working on 65.
65,
which is when we know she finishes writing her.
Yes, which I just think that really does inform the way that her story is told.
Yeah,
which is that there's so much that we learn from that autobiography we wouldn't know otherwise, and it's a very youth-focused, her early years-focused autobiography.
Well, and of course it would be because it's an act of remembrance, right? We people talk all the time about how she gets more nostalgic in her later years and whatever, as if that's not something that everyone does. But also it makes sense. You're recollecting your earlier time. You're not going to write about what happened 6 months ago with the same weight because it hasn't had 40 years to sit with you and have ramifications.
Yes.
And, that's only natural.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
I usually am.
Yes, modern fireplace. But not modern gas. Can't do this these days.
Well, good. That sounded like a threat. Someone's trying to gas Miss Marple, by the way. If you're not following along.
She's not very lucky when she goes to bed, is she? I think there's several instances where people try to kill Miss Marple in her sleep.
I suspect she'll survive this, Mark, because she has got 2.5 films ahead of her.
Yeah. It's 10:15.
I mean, if I had my way, I'd go to bed at 9 every night, so I'd back that.
There you go. And we know, obviously, about the Kate.
That sounded like the ghost of the theme tune, which
I think
we've not
was,
really been talking about, but it does carry through all the films, and we love it. We love it. We're listening with volume on low so that we can put the subtitles so that we can talk over it. I would like to say to the listener, Mark.
Okay.
Because people have written into me, quite a lot of people have written to me to talk about staging an intervention with you. Yeah. And I would like to clarify that Mark's drinking blackcurrant squash and I'm on mint tea. There's not a beer in sight.
No.
So you can stand down the intervention.
Yes.
We're fine.
Yes.
We just think it's neat.
We just think it's neat. It's just we don't see each other very often. So very often it's a celebration. Don't see each other very often. Chat like all day, every day, pretty much on
I think
WhatsApp.
We see each other quite often as well, don't we? But it just feels.
Well, there we go. Well,
I don't know. It feels like less at the moment because we did loads of trips together. So then the trips. Didn't I see? I saw you a few weeks after maybe the America trip, and I was like, oh, it feels like ages. But of course, like when you've been traveling around with someone, it would.
Yes. Yes, that was a nice trip.
That was such a lovely trip.
It's funny. I didn't quite know what to say, and our timing was quite good in the end.
The schedule was brilliant. The timing was brilliant. The weather was pretty much uniformly brilliant.
I was thinking the timing as in I don't think that now is a great time to go to Washington, D.C.
Oh, yes.
We are recording in August 2025, so who knows what the world is like when you finally listen to this.
Well, maybe
that's a nice iconic shot.
We can drop this. Sorry.
That shot of her with the torch, you see quite a lot in things. I'm very wary of the word iconic, but it is the way that it's definitely on posters and stuff.
Yeah.
And I think one of the DVD box sets has got that on the cover.
So I think I'm right in saying that they published a movie tie-in version of After the Funeral.
They do.
On it, which is really annoying to Christie because, of course, Marple's not in the book.
That's it. I'm going to put my mic down because I'm going to find it.
Oh, but great for a podcast. Yeah, show me the picture.
Well, no, because I'm going to find what she says about it.
But but I think the torch shot is on that book, isn't it? Or
no, it's her hiding.
Oh, yes.
Corner. Yeah, but I think there are posters that use it.
Or maybe it's on the back. But
maybe.
It's funny because that's the conversation that Agatha's publishers and Agatha's representatives are still having today. Things like, do you publish Halloween Party calling it Haunting in Venice when the book that follows clearly isn't set in Venice or clearly doesn't have Marple in it or what have you?
Yeah, so there's a really good I don't have it quite to hand, but I've got a little quote from the letter that Rosalind wrote when she went into her local W.H. Smith.
Oh, yes.
And said, don't you think it's most misleading? And the manager agreed. Most misleading and unfair, and wanted an assurance from Collins that it wouldn't happen again. So this is the real problem is that it makes it look like it's a Miss Marple novel. Course.
Maybe next time we're in Torquay, which is soon, we should go and act that scene out
in their W.H.
Smith.
It's gone now, won't it be?
No, it's just T.R. Leavis or something, isn't it?
T.G. Jones?
Whatever. Mm-hmm. But you could be Rosalind, put you in a nice little wig.
Yeah.
And I'll be the manager.
That sounds right, yeah. And do you know what the amazing thing is? Is that carpet will probably be the same one from the 1960s.
Fagash and all.
Oh, gosh. To our international listeners, W.H. Smith is famously run down as a series of shops.
Unless, of course, they stock...
Well, they haven't. They never have yet.
But they might stock our new book, so...
Oh, yeah, that's true.
In which case
we are sure that T.G. Jones is going to be the start of something exciting and new. And maybe they'll start by cleaning the carpets.
We do, on the other hand, love independent bookshops and Waterstones, because they will carry us.
Yes, and Hatchard's in... which is now, I know that is Waterstones, isn't it?
Yeah, as is Foyles.
Yeah. Oh, we're filming just off the set at the top there, I think.
Yeah. Or is it like a picture rail?
Well, I think it's picture rail and then nothing. I don't know. Maybe I'm being cynical.
You? Cynical?
There's also just subtle hints in this room that he loves his horses.
Yeah.
Just, just the occasional horsey thing. Can you ride a horse? Have you ever ridden a horse?
I did ride a horse as a kid. I mean, where I grew up was quite rural, really, which I think people forget because I'm such a cosmopolitan, literati kind of gal. But I can't say I particularly enjoyed it. And I can't say the horse particularly enjoyed it either. I'm quite bony.
Too bony. I was just about to say you're too bony. Yes. I've ridden a horse a couple of times. But
no,
I mean,
haven't.
Yes, I have.
Did you fall off?
No, why would me, the one of us who can like swim and things, fall off a horse?
I'm sorry, swimming is nothing like riding a horse. They're two completely different activities.
They speak to quite similar life skills
You're
that you might have
That's like
accumulated
saying,
at some point.
Excuse me, of course I can ride a horse. I play chess.
No, it isn't at all like that.
It doesn't make any sense.
Just saying that I think there's something about that. But anyway, yeah, my cousin still is, I think, a big horse rider, very into horses, as another cousin. Devon. And my sister used to ride a horse regularly. We never had a horse or anything, but she used to be allowed to go and ride one up at the stable sometimes. So I did go out with Joe a couple of times, sort of trotting along, went through the thing. I don't remember ever being scary, which just seems really weird. Class,
but that sounds quite affluent, really.
Oh, I am
fancy.
What about yours? Was yours not?
Ours was a school trip. State school.
State school? Of course I went to state school. Anyway, we're going to have this argument later.
Turn the mics off.
Yeah. Now, Flora Robson, when you know that she's Miss Gilchrist gets to do something a bit more interesting towards the end. That's great. But it's a bit of a thankless role otherwise, isn't it?
She's just walking around these corridors
looking
worried.
pained. Yeah.
And clutching that hat. And she always seems to have, I don't know if that's supposed to be like an outside blazer, but it's almost like she's still got her purse and her coat on and no one's let her sit down and take it off.
Yes, it's like, that English society that you can't talk to each other until you're introduced. She can't put her bag down. Someone says, you can put your bag down.
She's crying out for someone to offer her a cup of tea and show her where the coat rail is,
This is staging for camera, isn't it? You would never sit like this. She's staring
back to someone. Yeah,
it's like when you see soaps are bad for it, but you know why. But when people go out for dinner and they sit at right angles to each other,
it annoys me so much. Yeah. I always say I can't sit next to someone rather than opposite them because you look like you're waiting for a bus. Apart from that, obviously we're next to each other on a sofa right now. That doesn't count. But...
No, I know what you mean. Oh, she's terribly afraid. That's in the trailer.
Oh. And yeah, so sorry, you said there are a few things about the paperback that the book generally that you enjoyed.
So I was really happy with that to sort of restart. I really enjoyed doing about the Joan Hickson series as well as this one, because for the Joan Hickson one, it's this weird thing that there is a lot more paperwork for it than pretty much anything else. So, but also only for like 4 of them. So there's like the full production files for 4 of them, which give you all the details you could possibly want. And then you've got to try and write it as if you've got, as if it's not really obvious that you've only got loads of material for one. So I had, lovely interviews with several people, Trevor Bowen, George Galaccio, Guy Slater. They were really helpful. Yeah. A couple of directors.
Well, and you're a big fan of the Hickson series as well, aren't you? So I guess...
Yeah. And also, I think, it's the march of time. I'm not hopefully sounding too sort of cruel in saying this, but you're talking about people who are professionals making these 40 years ago. And so... if you wait too long, you can't write that book. I know you're laughing at it, but you can't write that book in 20 years.
Yeah, you must.
So if you're not going to do it now, then when are you going to do it?
It's like
you've got to be realistic about that.
I lost my granddad this year, and I always made a point of sort of listening to his stories and stuff because you have to while you still can.
Well, exactly, yeah.
You'll regret it otherwise. So no, I do get it.
So that was really good. But what I really enjoyed was that because it's almost the same length as Poirot, but there's a lot less Miss Marple. So I really enjoyed having the chance to breathe in my sort of analysis and discussion of each book. So that was really lovely.
Do you have a favourite between the Poirot and Marple books? Like, which one did you enjoy writing more? You don't have to say Marple just because we're plugging it.
No, Poirot was harder work than Marple, definitely.
How so?
Because it was it was such a huge amount of material to go through. To filter that down was really, really tough. And because it was the first time I'd written a completely commercial book, if you say that. Like, Agatha Christie on Screen is from an academic publisher. This was licensed by Agatha Christie Limited, coming out from HarperCollins. I felt like, will I get this right, basically?
Whereas then by Marple, you sort of go, I know the formula.
Exactly. I know the tone, I know the formula, I know the balance. And so I found it a bit more pleasant to write. And I wasn't...
a bit more confident. And,
I think so. I don't know that I don't know. What do you think Marple's better than Poirot? What do you think?
I do, but then I wonder, not that Poirot's bad by any stretch of the imagination, but then I also think... I'm more interested in what you're writing about, right? Because I do prefer Miss Marple. I find her more interesting. I find the books on the whole more interesting just because they're not talked about as much.
Yeah.
And we've said before, we did a special called Swinging Marple, and we made the point then that Marple, the 60s really do belong to Marple.
Yes.
In the way that the kind of 30s really belong to Poirot.
Yes.
30s, 40s and 50s really. But... so it appeals to me as someone that's interested in the back end of Christie's career anyway, I guess.
Yeah. I there is something to be said about that, about the lots of the... some of the Miss Marple titles are really famous, but actually people don't talk about things like They Do It With Mirrors or
even
Pocket
like
Full of Rye.
Pocket Full of Rye.
Yeah, and certainly her short stories are pretty much overlooked, especially once you get beyond the ones that are in the 13 Problems.
Well, I wonder if, because the famous Poirot series adapted pretty much all of the Poirot short stories and helped put them on the map a bit more, whereas the famous Marple series that's almost contemporaneous, a bit before the Joan Hickson series, famously didn't. They did the novels, but they talked about doing short stories, didn't they? But they never actually did.
Yeah, they had... they did a couple of times when they were going into the second or third season. They drew up a list that was a mixture of novels and short stories, and then
I feel like Death by Drowning was on the radar.
Death by Drowning got as far as scripting.
Yeah.
Although I haven't found a copy of it.
I bet it's bulked out to hell because I mean,
well, what they basically did was made it like Nemesis, where it's all about the fear of losing somebody, and having a lot of emotional stuff. But yeah, it's it would have been interesting to see that one done.
I mean, I probably would have quite enjoyed that because my reservation with the Hicksons is I do feel like they're quite flat and slow paced, and I feel like if they'd done a short story, maybe in one part, or was that not an option?
It was supposed to be 90 minutes, but
okay, maybe not.
Yeah, but there was an idea at one point that they would have done hour-long short story ones. That was when they were putting the list together for season 2 or 3. I can't remember which, off the top of my head.
We've just talked through a horse attack.
I know. Yeah, I mean, we're getting plenty of incident, aren't we?
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, gosh.
Got about 20 minutes left.
You've only got less than 20 minutes left.
Don't worry, listener, you've only got 20 minutes left.
But I think that's really... He's worried about the horse.
Oh
well, I mean, it's fair to be worried about the horse, but it's like, yeah, and there's some person.
I was thinking, I hope that horse wasn't mistreated by the production company in order to get it that distressed, because that always concerns me a bit. So I enjoyed having time to, and yeah, you're right. The short stories, I think there's really a lot to be said about them. I think that they are definitely some of my favourites, some of the Miss Marple short stories. I do think, actually, because there was a lot of talk around, because obviously Richard Osman's Thursday Murder Club was such a huge phenomenon, and then HarperCollins republished 13 Problems as the Tuesday Night Murders, which is also how it was known, and kind of made a virtue of that comparison, and Osman has retrospectively acknowledged that's probably where that idea came from. So I think that kind of moment kind of helped put them on the map a little bit.
Has he? Because he told me it was a complete coincidence. That's in Marple. He said he hadn't heard of it.
Oh, maybe I'm thinking of that. Oh no, I don't. Did he say he hadn't heard of it?
Yeah, he said it's a complete coincidance. Yeah, it's in the Marple book. Yeah, he was very kind. He replied to I sent him a message, and he said it's a lovely tribute, but an unknowing one, and he's really pleased. Yeah, it sounds like and feels like a riff on it.
But I think reading between the lines of what he said, and what I think is most likely is that he did know that at some point. It's just been buried.
Maybe, yes, which is so often the case.
We all do that.
We do. Gray's always telling me off for saying things that I think I've thought of, and then he's like, I told you that.
Yeah, or I wrote that down and you read that 2 days ago. And then went, I've got such a brilliant idea. What about a murder club named after a day of the week? No, it happens. It happens.
It really does, though, because sometimes things just... That story about, is it Paul McCartney writing Yesterday or something, where he was like, he woke up and he was just like, I'm sure that I've ripped this song off from somebody because I just can't believe it's come into my brain fully formed. Whereas obviously it seems like it did. Not that I'm saying that my ideas are quite the equivalent of that.
Oh, I thought you were going to say, not that I'm saying. If any lawyers are listening, we're not libelling Paul McCartney.
No. We never libel anybody, we promise.
No,
or slander
not
them.
publicly. Actually, it has to be public to be libel, I guess, doesn't it?
And slander's
Otherwise,
spoken,
it's just
isn't it?
gossip.
Slander's spoken, libel's written. Yeah, gossip. Yes, right. We're in private. We're all in
her
private.
necklace. Margaret
Yes,
Rutherford's
it's quite jaunty, isn't it?
I think it's quite modern, dare I say?
Yeah. Love this. So she's
Quite
planning
glamorous.
to have a heart attack at the dance. And this surprised me when I rewatched it a few years ago. So I remembered it being a surprise that she had a heart attack, that we, as the viewer, were supposed to think she'd had
Mandela
one.
effect.
Oh.
Sorry, listener, that's been the phrase of the weekend.
Yeah.
Everything. We've just been saying everything is the Mandela effect.
The
Mandela
Which means
effect
when
being-
we've forgotten things.
Yeah, we're being... what's the definition? It's like something that... almost like a conspiracy that a large group of people believe has always been one way, but actually it's not.
Yeah.
But you sort of... Because a lot of people believe that Mandela died in prison.
In prison,
and
yes.
it never happened.
Yes, no, it didn't. He was released on my birthday.
Oh. Did he wish you a happy birthday?
Do you know, I think I'll forgive him for
He
the
had
fact
other
that
things
he
to
had
think
other
about.
things to
That's
think
fair
about. Oh, he was released. That was his present to me.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, I was talking about the ending of The Birds, which my partner, we saw it the other day, and my partner remembered it ending slightly differently, and you told me that's...
I have known other people say exactly the same, yeah.
There you go. I thought of one this morning, actually. I was going to say to you, but I've forgotten what it was now.
There's a lot crammed into this last 15 minutes or so, isn't there?
But, you know, Marple's setting a trap. This is very in keeping with her characterising
It is.
in the books.
Yes, it is.
She wouldn't do something quite this elaborate, maybe. Although she does take a absolute running bolt up some back stairs or down some back stairs into Sleeping Murder. So.
I think that it's about the same sort of way that she would do it.
With the twisting too?
I could see faking an illness.
Yeah.
I mean, she fakes choking
in a party. Or
yeah.
That's true, yeah. She faked, which they retain for the Murder She Said. She, that's the climax of 450 from Paddington, and they retain it for the film.
There's a funny bit in the... I think it's in either of the adaptations, but in the book there's that really funny bit about that when she asks... Mrs. McGillicuddy to go and make herself scarce, use the bathroom. Mrs. McGillicuddy's like, oh my God, there's no way that I could go and use the words that would mean I need to use the loo in someone's house.
Yeah. I mean, fair play to...
Which is true to you, because you still don't know where the bathroom is in this house. I had to lock you into your little room because you're just too scared to use the word loo in someone else's house.
I was like, where is he going with this? What? Wait, I mean, that's... a point in favour of Christie, because people always say, don't they, that one of the really annoying unreality things of so much material, books and films, is that no one ever goes to the loo.
No, okay. Or eats.
Kenneth Branagh did go to the loo in Haunting in Venice, but only to smash the
that's
water
true,
in his face.
yes. And he did eat egg.
I don't know if he ate an egg.
No, that's true. Yeah, that's true. I mean,
measured it.
Yeah.
Didn't even
eating's more a Doctor Who thing, isn't it? That's what we always complain about Doctor Who. Sorry, Doctor Who again.
Stop talking about things that aren't Miss Marple, please. We're not flogging a Doctor Who book.
Must have you fit for the dance tonight?
That'll
That'll be me to you later. Gonna have a little dance.
Oh yeah,
You're gonna wear that.
We're gonna go to the pub, aren't we? I'm looking forward to it. Oh, she looks so glamorous.
I love it. I love she's got a bow in her hair.
Yeah. Well, and it's teeing up that, spoilers, but he's going to propose to her, isn't he? Which it becomes a tradition in these films. Yes. Does that happen at the end of every film that somebody tries to?
I don't know. It happens in the first two. I can't remember if it does in the others.
In 3 and 4.
Oh, I think 4, there is something that happens.
The captain?
Yeah, there's something about that, but I think that he asks her to join his ship or something.
Oh, yeah. Well, we all know what that means. Although he's a bit gay-coded, so maybe it is just join the ship. Yeah, polka dots on her dress. That's very 60s.
Love it. And again, a lovely necklace.
Yeah.
Gosh, we've become like those people on commentary to just talk about the hairstyles.
Oh, I like that, though.
Yeah,
it's contemporary history. It's important. They've upped the money, haven't they?
I'm amazed by that strap showing so much, her strap showing so much shoulder for Miss Marple.
Yeah.
I love it, don't get me wrong, but that's often a slightly older lady. The first thing they want to do is cover their upper arm.
Would have like a shawl or something.
Yes. Which you should not do, can I say right now, but that is often what you see. So I love it.
Let's twist again, like we did last summer.
Oh, don't do something you've got to pay for. Love it.
Because, Chubby Checker's twist was huge in 1960, I think. And then he released Let's Twist Again in the summer of 62, I want
Right,
to say.
okay.
And it was a phenomenon. It was the kind of TikTok dance craze of its day.
Well, I'm Twist and Shout from
Twist and Shout.
Pistols.
Yeah. And then Lulu came along and did Just Shout. So we went from Twist to Twist and Shout to Shout.
Yeah.
Someone should release a pop song called And.
You know I met Lulu doing my promo for Marple. Because we were both on Alan Titchmarsh's show together.
Yeah. Did you tell her she really honked all over that Bond song? It's awful. Which one is it?
I did not. It's a Man with a Golden Gun, isn't it?
It's such a great song and she ruins it. I'm sorry. I say this as a big Lulu and big M&S fan. But
Are you?
Well, I'm a big M&S fan. She used to be the face of M&S, didn't she? I only know that because my mum used to work there. Hi, Mum.
Yeah, she was lovely. She did a little video for my friend from school. Because his email address is a version of Boom Bang a Bang.
Of course it is. Yeah. I'm sure she's lovely. I think she'd had a couple of extra fags before going into that recording studio that day.
Could have been worse. Could have been Scylla.
That's true. Oh, it could always be worse by being Scylla. The cruel Scylla Black.
It always annoys me that I feel like Sheena Easton misses the notes in her one.
Which one is that?
I'm going to have to look it up.
Don't say, is it You Only Live Twice? Because that's my favourite song.
No, it's not that. It's not that. Google it. It's an early 80s one.
Oh, I think...
Anyway, while you Google that...
We've gone from Doctor Who to James Bond.
I also love how we quite often are conspiring ways for everyone to be hanging around together.
Which this film does more effectively than others.
Much more effectively.
Oh, it's For Your Eyes Only.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not a good
She misses a note.
Yeah. But several of them do. I mean, unless you're Shirley, several of them do. Lulu certainly does.
It's when you hold it and you're like, don't hold it. You got it wrong.
Yeah.
Try it again.
Have another whack. Take two.
So I wonder, I'd be interested to know how solvable this film is for people. Like how many people had not read
After the
Funeral.
Yeah, let us know, anyone that's listening, if this is the first time watching it, if they're prompted to watch it because we're watching it, or how familiar people are with it. Because it's not a famous Poirot novel.
No.
You could quite easily be a fairly solid fan of Christie without having read that one, I think.
I mean, yeah, people always get annoyed when you say it's not a famous one because they go, oh, well, it's always been in my top 10. And actually, I know it's one of Sophie Hannah's favourites. It's one of my favourites.
But
it isn't one of the big
not famous.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's not really strong and up there for a lot of people. I think it's...
But it's
one of my
if you're on
favourite
Pointless,
probably.
you wouldn't be completely surprised if this was a low-ranking answer.
Oh my God. But Jan Carson, hi Jan, if you're listening, who we recorded that Belfast special with, I've been reading her books for work, and there's a chapter in her book, The Raptures, titled After the Funeral. And I thought, I know exactly what she's done there. I know exactly that's a reference, knowing her.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah.
She should have said that. Cut that in.
I unfortunately, I only clocked it after we'd recorded the episode. Otherwise, I would have brought it up. But...
Oh, here is Miss Marple's most dangerous place to be.
Bed.
In bed.
We're coming to...
Fully clothed.
We're coming to the climax now. The revelation.
I love this idea. Someone's just shaking that branch.
To go,
not that there's anything wrong with that. I mean, it's perfectly legitimate. But if you've ever been on a film set, you know nothing is real.
Well, it's also that thing where it's like the one day that it's been terrible weather, all shit,
yes.
and then the one day we wanted wind.
Yes.
She hasn't put her PJs on. She's still got her...
That's what I'm saying. She's pretty fully dressed all the time. So yeah. She is ready to go. Mind you, these houses are cold.
Yeah. And like you said, it's a dangerous place for her to be. She's got to be ready for an assailant because people keep trying to bloody kill her.
She is, yeah. She set it up, hasn't she? That's it. Oh, and this is clever, isn't it? Because we get this, yes, where it's Cora initially, just enough for you to go, oh, she's wearing your glasses almost. Oh, no, they're crude at the side.
Yeah, just enough for you to go, what? But she's dead. What do you mean? Which is, a lovely late twist. You feel that's the sort of thing that Agatha herself might have done just to unsettle you.
Yes. I've been waiting for you. Yes. She's been to IKEA to get a tea light.
Yeah, the design, the sort of polka dot design of the veil is not dissimilar to the design of Miss Marple's sort of climactic dress, actually.
Yes.
Because they've both got that sort of netting over a layer, sort of.
Yeah. She's oh well, I'm done now. Yeah, can take this wig off to reveal my other wig.
Yeah, you've got to take my wig. Got to take my wig off very carefully, lest I bring the other wig with it by mistake.
Which is nothing against Flora Robson. I mean, maybe it's not, but again, almost every woman wears a wig, and many men in films up to the sort of
even
70s,
now,
80s.
Because
famously, it's just easier.
It's so much easier, isn't it?
Yeah.
You can see why. And it means you don't have to, because it would be if you're saying to an actor, oh, we want you to be in this film, but you have to be bleach blonde for the next 2 years.
Yeah. The constant fascination with Nicole Kidman's wigs. She always wears wigs, but they're always bad.
Oh, have you seen the ones in Nine Perfect Strangers? My God.
Oh, yeah, my God.
She's got a new one for the second series at least, but...
Anyway.
Brilliant performance.
Yes.
Brilliant performance from her.
And it really feels like you can believe that she would just go over the edge.
I think so.
Because she hasn't got anything, and this is the one thing she really wants.
Yeah.
And she's already killed, so why won't I do it again?
Yeah.
I don't believe for a moment that you could ever get away with actually killing Miss Marple there if she had done it.
No.
But that's not how she's thinking. She's gone a bit,
within the confines of your belief suspension for a film like this. Yeah.
But I just don't think she's thinking straight anyway.
Yeah, yeah. But that's part of it. That's what
I'll just go back to sleep. How's your adrenaline rush of the day, Miss Marple? Just going to go back.
She didn't get Craddock to leave her room before going to sleep, though. Maybe she's hoping he'll jump in. I mean, I am. He's a very handsome man. Oh, God. Okay, here we get the obligatory proposal.
Yes, I think she doesn't like horses. I think that's what happens. It's always got to have an extra bit of physical comedy.
Grappling with his riding boots. Yeah, sorry. So, she's famous, is she? The Robson, did you say?
Flora Robson. Yeah, I mean, it's like a character actor. She's the sort of person you go, oh, I know her. She did a lot on stage.
Okay.
So people would know. I mean, there's only 3 people on the book cover, and it's these 2 and Flora Robson. So, I mean, obviously she's got, but she was enough that you cast something like this. I just think that quite often when you're going to do that, you want to cast somebody that people aren't going to recognise. But I do think they do a really good job of it here.
But then
so I'm actually not criticising it here.
Yeah.
And she's not like she was she's not Elizabeth Taylor coming in and doing it or anything.
No. I think you could do much better, Margaret.
Yeah, I do too.
He looks like the sort of man that Mr. Enderby were talking about. He looks like the sort of man that would lick his finger and smooth down his eyebrow with it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I
that
do.
kind of guy.
He's just a grown-up mummy's boy as well, isn't he, really? Those 2 really uninspiring paintings of horses on each reverse shot. They're both really like the most boring.
That's true. And 2 statues of horses behind her. In case you didn't get the note from the portrait, we've got 3D and 2D horses on offer. Special offer. Well, no, thanks for proposing, but absolutely not. Goodbye.
Oh. Oh, not a heart. Yeah. Yes.
We love
Doesn't
this line.
approve of blood sports. That's
correct.
what it is.
Good on you, Margaret.
Yeah. Nor do we. Because I'm a vegetarian, you know, Gray.
That doesn't count. It's like saying you're a centrist. I might cut that bit.
Too late. I love it. It's like mystery
tune.
solved, final little comedy scene, Boreham Wood. 2 words. For some reason.
I thought you were just saying it weirdly, but it's written incorrectly. How funny.
No, it does. It was referred to. I've got a feeling that Boreham Wood was like the name of the village or something, and then the studios ended up being called Boreham Wood. But I remember looking up the time because it's how it's referred to when they write to Edmund Cork to say we're going to start filming in Boreham Wood. What? It's like Heathrow, which is in
Kevin Stoney
in
was Dr. Markwell.
Spider's Web. Oh.
I didn't spot him.
We were chatting, I suspect.
There's
Duncan Lamont.
There's the legitimisation for all our Doctor Who references.
Well, so was Duncan Lamont from Death of the Daleks.
Oh yeah, but he's not as cool as
Kevin Stoney.
He's very important.
No.
Well, thanks for that, Mark.
That was lovely, wasn't
very
it? Didn't that rattle bar?
Yeah, very good.
Good.
Yeah, so Agatha Christie's Marple, Expert on Wickedness, is out now in paperback.
Yes.
As well as ebook, and a brilliant audiobook read by Jane Slavin.
Love Jane.
Jane's so great. We love her. And she had a great time doing it, I know for a fact.
Oh, that's nice.
And in fact, any listeners, if you want to hear a snip of it for free, then you can go to the end of our last commentary episode, which dropped September 2024.
So as well as the paperback of Marple, you can also pre-order our book, Swinging Christies. And please do, from wherever you would like. Independent booksellers, very much recommended, but whatever works for you is great too. You can get in touch. We're on Instagram at Christie_time. Our Blue Sky is christietime.bsky.social. You can email us at christietimepod@gmail.com. Our website is at christietime.com. You can find Gray's website at grayrobertbrown.wixsite.com/GrayRobertBrown. I'm on Instagram at Dr. Mark Aldridge and on Blue Sky at markaldridge.info, which is also my website.
Yeah, enjoy. Happy reading.
Happy reading.
And keep swinging.
Keep swinging.
Keep swinging.
Keep twisting.
Keep twisting.
Yes.
Thanks for listening, and remember, watch out for hat pins. They're deadly. The Swinging Christies is the Christie Time project by Dr. Mark Aldridge and Gray Robert Brown. This episode was recorded on the 16th of August 2025. Our artwork was designed by Bartlett Studio, and our music is by Dar Golan. To the pub.
Well, anyway, we'll
Stop
save
moving.
that. Stop me. Yes, any creaks are the sofa. They aren't my decrepit body falling apart after a weekend of podcasting.